Amit, good evening.
Good evening, Mohanji.
Madhav sir has joined Amit or no?
Good evening, Mohanji. Good evening, Anandji.
Good evening, good evening.
I'm just looking if Madhav sir has joined. Yeah, he's joined here. Let me just promote him to the panelist.
Please, please.
I've done that. I'm shifting some the members to panelist.
Right.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening, Madhav.
Good evening.
Good evening, Madhav sir. You are most welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Good evening. Good evening, Madhavji. Good evening.
Great. Good evening, everybody.
So, good evening, Yogesh sir. Can I start?
Is the time done? Yes, time is done. We can start.
Yes. Okay. So, good evening, everybody, and warm welcome to all of you for today's webinar hosted by Arise, New Age Chamber of Commerce of the entrepreneurs, by the entrepreneurs, and for the entrepreneurs. We at Arise believe in the concept of nation first. So, let us start the program with National Anthem. May I request all of you to stand for National Anthem on the count of 3. So, 3, 2, 1.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
भारत माता की
जय.
Thank you, Amar. May I request one of our senior trustees, Mr. Anand Palnitkar, to recite Arise Oath to the group.
Anandji, you are on mute.
I am a responsible human being.
I am a responsible human being.
Ready to support.
Ready to support.
Share and collaborate.
Share and collaborate.
I'll be honest in my actions.
I'll be honest in my actions.
Towards everyone.
Towards everyone.
I will enjoy my journey.
I'll enjoy my journey.
With a large heart and tolerance.
With a large heart and tolerance.
Towards Arise community and society.
Towards Arise community and society.
I'll establish entrepreneurial brotherhood. To strengthen my country. And humanity. Jai Hind. Please over to.
Thank you,
Dr.
Anand sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anand sir. Now, may I request Dr. Yogesh Pawar, Chairman Arise, to formally welcome our guests and our participants. Yogesh sir, to you.
Thank you very much, Amit. First of all, a warm welcome to Madhav sir. Madhav sir, thank you very much for accepting our invitation.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, and warm welcome to all the trustees and all the Arisans and all the guests who have come in, who are also listening to Madhavji. Before I start, I think it is important for all of us to understand what Arise is and it is important that we share with people what we have been doing for last 4 years. One of an important alignment, one of an important aspect of Arise. Good evening, Mahendra. So people are saying good evening to each other. Please say good evening to each other as well, right? So one of a very important aspect of Arise has been collaboration, has been serving each other and the entrepreneurial brotherhood, rather than competing with each other. Can we actually work with each other and make more sense to each other? With certain values of Arise, contribution, collaboration, and growth, we have been growing as a community. This was formed by the alumni of School of Inspirational Leadership, and we all got together by saying by the entrepreneurs, of the entrepreneurs, and for the entrepreneurs. Certain events that we conduct, one of them is Night of Truths. Night of Truths is where the legends of the business community come and very openly share their successes and failures. Monthly Synergy Meet, this is one of them. Arise Business Recovery Clinic. When we say Arise Business Recovery Clinic, it is the panel of advocates who help all the Arisans to recover any stuck money from the market. We have Tech Talks, where technology has been established. People from L&T, people from Siemens have come to us. They have shared. Being a small community, but a very consolidated community, we have always been able to do far better when it comes to these talks. We have senior folks from SBI, senior folks from Sybil and CRISIL kind of an organizations where people have come. We also conducted workshops, even during the pandemic, where a lot of members came in with safety and security. We were able to create annual operating plan for our businesses. We also focus a lot on collective bargaining for certain elements that are required in business. Operation Reboot was one of its unique operations where 17 stuck businesses were pulled out and we were able to get them going during the pandemic. And after Operation Reboot, we started Operation Udan, where people and businesses came together to bid for bigger things, bigger opportunities that post-pandemic people were getting. We also started off with something called as Inspiring India Movement. And today that movement is running across the country. We firmly believe that it is not the quantity of people that matters. What matters is the quality of people and the quality of environment that you're trying to create for yourself. With this, certain members benefits that people get, but there are certain expectations as Arisans. Discipline in action and communication, be vocal to express, spread entrepreneurship brotherhood, beneath, grow, and contribute. So with these philosophies, we are working towards a lot of things. These are certain eminent personalities who have come through our all the webinars physically. They have come digitally. We have been collaborating with a lot of associations across the country. So these are certain names of it. These are certain highlights that I would want to share. Internal exchange of close to 16 crores of business, referral inquiries of around 70 crores, business recovery clinic recovered 47 lakhs in the last year, around 54 activities in a year. New product development, 5 initiatives were taken care, and 46 businesses were handholded during the pandemic stage. With this beautiful team, which is created by the entrepreneurs, all of these are the pillars of Arise, and more importantly, have been consistently working towards achieving something. With this, I take an opportunity to introduce one of the finest individuals in the finance industry. Mr. Madhav Govind Ganpole is not only an educated, but also extreme humble human being, extremely low profile kept human being, who has consistently excelled in his professional career. He's a BCom honors with a rank holder in 1982, associate member of Institute of Cost and Management Accounting Institute, associate member of Institute of Company Secretaries, and of course, a chartered accountant. All of this, he was final rank holders in all the elements that you see. He's a senior faculty and an arbitrator at National Stock Exchange, also a senior faculty at Sma Ipo School of Management, Indira Institute of Management, National Insurance Academy, Pune University, Executive MBA. He's also been a vice chairman with WRIC of ICA, chairman of Pune branch of ICA, member of Board of Studies at Symbiosis and Indira Institutes. With this extensive experience that he has, today we have a privilege that he's going to share his wisdom about finances and how SMEs need to cater in these pandemic situations and what are the stands when it comes to finances they need to take. We will conduct this in an interview form where he will be able to share the questions that our members ask. I will be the navigator in which I will take the questions from all the members and share it with him so that he can answer. Madhav sir, welcome to Arise. Welcome to the beautiful community that we have created. And what I've heard from you, learned from you, this is a pleasure to meet you today. Thank you very much for joining us at the Arise Synergy Meet. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sir, a little about, while we start off, a little about how, what has been your biggest trigger in the finance sector? It's been last 30, 35, 40 years of work, consistently looking at numbers. What has been your journey? Would you please explain your journey to us?
Yeah. Before I answer your question, let me express my deep gratitude towards Arise and its esteemed members and functionaries. I was deeply moved by the objectives because there was a lot of stress on humanity also. Because in most of the commercial organizations, we observe that the game revolves around money, nothing wrong in that. What is wrong is it revolves around money only, maybe at the cost of humanity, or maybe cost of other values. So I'm deeply impressed, firstly, with the pledge, with the objectives, with the philosophy. And at the outset, let me make it very clear that everybody should have in his mind that he is not alone. Since he is a member of this group, formal, informal, whatever it is, let us not visualize your own turnover. As I was talking to Mohan a few days before, he told me that there are around 100 members with a turnover ranging from 5 crores to 500 crores also. So if 100 members can have a combined turnover of a few thousand crores, it is definitely a force to be reckoned with. So everybody, that is, let everybody understand that he is not small. He is contributing a great deal. And these small and medium enterprises obviously is the backbone of our economy, our GDP, our bank credits, our society, and government is trying to give more and more attention to such organizations, such companies. Maybe it is inadequate at this stage. They are facing some problems. Government trying to help them. But I personally feel that, okay, you can expect something from the government, but it is our duty as members of such organizations or of society to help out an entrepreneur who is struggling, who can give that quality product, who can give that quality service, and maybe he is struggling. So I take it as my pleasure in attending this meeting you all. Would have been happier had this meeting been arranged physically or offline, but everybody is aware of the constraints, and given the constraints, let me congratulate you all having done a fantastic job of getting people together, that too in the evening 7 o'clock, where people may have better things to do than to listen to Madhav Ganpule session. Is it? But anyway, I'm grateful to you all. Coming back, let me thank Mohan for this excellent biodata. Is it? Everybody may take me as very successful. Now, with this thread, I want to answer your query also. What happens? The brighter side of a person always comes before the society. Is it? This is usually happens when a speaker's biodata is read out. Is it? If you think I am successful from my biodata, let me tell everybody that I have faced more failures than successes. Is it? What is important? Keeping a positive attitude. I never allowed these failures to discourage me. And this is, I think, a word for maybe many budding entrepreneurs also. That, see, you see only the success. What happens? It is like R&D. That is when you try out 10 things, maybe 3 are successful and 7 are failures. And if you meet with 3 successes in R&D, I think your success rate is too high. 30% success rate in R&D may be taken as too high. These 30% successful innovations, successful products, services can earn a lot of not only money, but goodwill, respect, and contacts for you. And this is what is something which has kept me going. Correct. That is, I have tried quite a few things. Maybe success rate of 30-40%, fine. That is something which every industrialist, every entrepreneur should keep in mind. That he has to keep on trying, he has to keep on struggling. In fact, our journey is always a struggle. Correct. We have seen the top industrialists also struggling. I have worked with a few MSMEs. I have worked for a few MSMEs for arranging finances or maybe getting them out of financial disorders. So I am aware of the common mistakes made by them. And many of them were following good discipline and getting out of it. That is something which I want to share with, that is something which I want to tell you, that follow the discipline, don't be afraid of failures, keep on trying, correct? And then this can be a trigger for you, correct? Fine, sir. Yogesh, sir?
Yes, I'm there, sir. I'm there. I was listening to you. So,
Yeah.
so let us begin with the understanding of certain nuances that we are going through in the current pandemic.
Correct.
The working capital has got tough. The raw material prices have gone up. According to you as a financial statistist, you have been working with large, small organizations, and apparently we can't name certain organizations that you're working for. But would you be able to tell us where are we heading? Where is where is our economy heading? I know it's a very general question, but the intention of the general question is so that everybody also gets the statistical point of view of that. Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, all of us are observing that there is a lot of money in the economy. As far as liquidity is concerned, it is not a problem. Then where is the problem? Why companies are facing problem of working capital? The problem seems to be about movement of money. There is enough liquidity. In fact, I can say there is excess liquidity in the system. The problem is money is not moving. What is the precise problem faced by MSMEs? The precise problem, and yeah, that is they are short of working capital. This is the precise problem. And our government is trying to help them by extending some loans or that GECL, that is guaranteed emergency credit line, what I can say. However, the guidelines for granting these emergency credit lines are also so strict, so stringent. In fact, not practical, so that hardly, I think 20-25% of the MSMEs only will be able to take the benefit thereof. Now, what is the real solution to the problem? Giving loans to MSMEs is not the real solution, because they will fall under loan trap, debt trap. On one hand, there will be increasing loans, and on the other hand, there will be increasing receivables on asset. Correct? So this is a swelling in balance sheet. This is not growth. This is only a swelling in balance sheet. In fact, last year, I can tell you, I was sharing a few ideas with a few government officers also for coming out with a better solution. And what can be the better solution? The better solution seems to be these big companies should be made to pay MSMEs in time. Honestly, there is a law for this, but it is not implemented well, or maybe not implemented at all, what I can say. Hardly any MSME gets payment in time from big companies. This is a universal rule, universal observation. Everybody must have seen that whenever any government floods the economy with liquidity, thinking that later on it will suck it out. In fact, our history very well suggests that no government is successful in sucking out the liquidity thereafter. So this liquidity is here to stay, then where it is going? The other unfortunate rule, the other unfortunate observation is if you give money to poor, rich people suck it out. And secondly, government comes out with schemes for poor, and rich people prove before the government how poor they are. Is it? So there should be a better solution to this. And I had the opportunity of discussing this problem with a few government officers last year. And I could come out with a very effective solution for this, that there should be some income tax or GST repercussions for this. That is, if MSMEs are not paid in time, then that amount should be straightway disallowed for the purposes of income tax in the hands of big companies. But this is about MSMEs who are suppliers to big companies. How about MSMEs who have their own product and they market their own product in the market? That is, they are not suppliers as such to big companies. I think for them, financial discipline is the only solution. In most of the cases, unfortunately, I have seen that these entrepreneurs do not follow financial missing. In many cases, these are simply family organizations. They are not willing to take the help of a few learned professionals. That is why they commit the breach of law. Correct? They are not willing to follow the formalities prescribed under the Companies Act. And that is why they are unable to approach the financial institutions for money. They do not have independent directors on the board. All these are the problems faced by, all these are what I can say the psychological blocks in the growth of the second type of MSME. Correct? That is, they say, for example, quite a few MSMEs can get themselves listed on the stock exchange. There is SME, Small and Medium Companies Exchange. However, the companies are reluctant to get themselves listed on the exchange, maybe because they will be required to follow a few more formalities. They will have to shell out some part of ownership, etc. But what is more important is your business should survive and grow. That is more important. It is not simply the family ownership, but if you want your business to survive and grow, obviously you will have to shell out something, take the help of independent advisors, correct? Have independent members on the board, have your own assessment made independently, make good decisions, make timely decisions, follow the rules, follow the discipline, make the business self-sufficient. That is, in most of the cases, the entrepreneurs we come across, they are so happy once the loan is sanctioned and they keep on renewing their cash credits every year. They never think of reducing the limits, correct? They do not think of reducing the limits, bringing these down in control, etc. All these are the psychological problems, what I can see. Okay, fine. So I will very strongly suggest the members who are maybe reasonably big in size, maybe having a turnover of say above 50 crores, they can definitely think of this listing option on SME so that their business will become more visible. They will be able to retain their employees. That is, this will boost their employees' motivation. There will be an exit route for the external investor also. That is, he can sell the shares on SMEs, etc. Unfortunately, very few entrepreneurs follow this route to get themselves listed on SMEs. Sir, please.
Wonderful, very nice. So I think one of the route, you answered two questions ideally. This is for I'm just summarizing it for everybody. The first question was related to how the economy is actually. So the challenge is not liquidity. The challenge is of movement of liquidity. So that's the challenge. And taking it forward from there, we have questions. Sachin Bhalarao-ji, you can write your question in the in the Q&A section, and we definitely will ask that question to Madhav-ji. Now, and the second point that you answered is about those companies who are intending to scale up can definitely use one of the routes of financing as the SME IPO. So these were two questions that you answered. Would you also be able to share with us certain nuances that where SMEs go wrong when they manage their finances or banking or something? Certain nuances. You've always seen this pattern, that these are the patterns that people make mistakes for sure, and we could avoid that.
Yeah, it is an excellent question. And I think this can be the crux of today's session. In many cases, SMEs make these mistakes and drag themselves in financial trouble. So what are the mistakes they make? See, firstly, everybody should understand that once a cash credit is given, or once a cash credit is obtained from the bank, once a loan is obtained from the bank, maybe once temporary overdraft facility is obtained from the bank, then it is meant for repayment. That is, technically it is granted for 1 year at a time. That doesn't mean that one should keep on renewing it year after year unless the business is growing. Unless the business is growing. See, such SMEs are small and we follow the organic theory of growth. When a child is small, it is more vulnerable to infections. So you have to take care of it. So initially, the child may be given some medicine, but obviously it is supposed to develop its own immunity and standing over the period. One more big problem I have seen in MSMEs, it's many of them start with inadequate finances. There is a big mistake at the starting point itself. Many of them start with inadequate finances and then they enter the vicious circle. Maybe bank will help you. All of us know the tendency of a money lender or a bank. Bank is always a fair weather friend. Correct? A money lender is keen on earning by way of interest. Correct? A money lender will always ensure that you will have money to pay interest, but you will not have money to pay the principal amount. Correct? See, if you really repay the amount, then he will be in trouble to get another borrower.
My God, I mean, this is so simply put. This is so simple put. I'm 100% sure this is the biggest takeaway for everybody. The money lender will ensure that you can pay interest.
Yeah. सावकार हा नेहमी व्याजाचा लोभी असतो. Simple. Correct. Huh? Really, that is, he has to see everybody. That is, see, this is what we come across. This is what we come across in each and every field, not only in monetary field. Say, employer pays that much salary to employee so that he remains in comfort zone of salary, but at the same time, money given to him is that inadequate that he will not dare to leave the job and start his own factory. Correct. Banker, same thing. He will do such a thing that he will give you money so that your business will generate sufficient money to pay interest, but not to repay the principal amount. Correct.
Very good, sir.
Even in the world, we come across the same theory. The advanced countries, they will give you more help. They will give you more aid rather than trade with you to ensure that you continue to remain dependent on them. Is it? And that is why in economics, we say that our motto should be no aid, more trade. Correct? He will ensure that you remain dependent on him. ये नहीं जानता है का तो ये ले लो पैसा मैं देता हूं, so that you remain dependent on him and you continue to remain dependent on him. Correct? See, this is everywhere. What I can say, this is everywhere. In each and every field, you will come across this. So the banker, the money lender, is always interested in keeping you in debt trap. Is it? I think many of you must have experienced this.
No, I think,
And
sir, what you've said in just 5 minutes, management gurus, if they keep talking, they will talk for 10 hours, but would not be able to explain the same concept. You've done that in 3 minutes.
Thank
3
you.
minutes you've done that. Wonderful, sir. Awesome.
So at the starting point only, honestly, these entrepreneurs should ensure that they do not fall in debt trap. Is it? Right at the beginning, they have to ensure this. They have to keep on reducing their dependence on banks and financial institutions. If it is not possible at the beginning, then they should do it at the earliest. Correct. Reduce. That is, I have seen many entrepreneurs arranging a party also. What is the reason? What is the reason? Yeah, today my cash credit limit is increased by 25%. Is it the reason to party? I still remember one very funny incident. One of my clients called me up and said, "Sir, there seems to be something wrong with our company." I said, "Kya hua?" He said, "Sir, I have a cash surplus of 30 lakh rupees." I said, every now and then you were crying that you do not have cash, you do not have liquidity, and suddenly there is a cash surplus. Kya hua? Then he told me, "Please come and see." So I rushed to his office. I checked his accounts. I found his bank account was overdrawn by 1 crore 20 lakhs. That is, there was a cash credit used 1 crore 20 lakhs. I said, "What stupid, why you wasted my time? And you told me that you have a cash surplus of 30 lakhs. You are having a cash credit limit, you are having a cash credit of 1 crore 20 lakhs. And you say that you have a cash surplus of 30 lakhs. He said, "Sir, my cash credit limit is 1.5 crores. So he was referring to unutilized cash credit limit as cash surplus.
Wow. What an intelligent human being.
See, if this is the tendency, if this is the thinking, then MSMEs will always be in trouble.
Very well said, sir. Very well. We have a member.
Correct.
We have a member, Madhav sir, who's wanting to ask a question. He's already placed this question. But Anand Paranspeji, I would request you to please ask the question by yourself. You can unmute yourself and you can ask the question. If possible, you can also display your video.
Yeah, thank you very much for the call.
Hello, Anand.
Yeah, I am audible.
You are not visible. Yeah, if you can please.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for arranging this particular webinar, which is crux of any business. When I started a business, I know that my chartered accountant told me finance is the backbone of any company. And today, listening to the main Ganpule sir, who is creator of many CAs in Pune. As I am a commerce graduate, BMCC, I know what value Ganpule sir carries in our heart. So sir, I just want one question that is really beautifully defined, a financial trap. Now, how to reverse this financial trap and use the bank for growth mechanism, and what should be the time frame to convert that? Means I accept most of the MSME start business with lack of capital, but with knowledge and their entire network. Then slowly they build finance. So how one company should target for that? A simple example or process of it. How they should target. If I have OD of 1 crore, how stepwise I have to reduce it, and with what performance I have to link it? Thank you.
See, the question is very good, but a little general. Hello.
Yeah, he's listening to you. He's listening to you.
Yes, sir.
No, there was, I think, one advertisement in between. That is why I said, okay.
That is
Anyway.
Anandji's company.
Correct, great. Okay.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. See, firstly, coming to your question, there will not be any specific time frame as such for getting out of debt trap, but one has to compute interest coverage ratios and debt service coverage ratio at frequent interest. Correct. You can draw a graph thereof. Your consultant can help you. Correct. To judge whether it is getting out of shape, whether it is getting out of order. And the moment you feel it is getting out of order, the remedial action should start immediately. However, in many cases, just like a serious patient becomes more serious if he goes to the doctor at a later stage. Same logic over here. That is, if you take the remedial action at the earliest, then maybe even 3 to 6 months time should be sufficient for you to get out of debt trap. However, if you start the remedial action at a later stage, it may take 3 years, 4 years also. And sometimes it may be fatal also. Correct. Even a good doctor. See, I am a person from stock market. In many cases, we advise the investors, if I feel that the loss is not recoverable, it is better to book the loss and make an exit. However, in many cases, we are sentimentally so attached to our business that it may not be possible. However, such a hard decision is required to be taken, of course, in extreme cases. That is, I am not saying that is maybe say in 10% of the cases, such a harsh decision may be required. But again, in that case also, it is better that to take the decision at the earliest. Correct? That is, if the patient is on the ventilator and if the doctors tell you that he is not likely to survive, I know it is a hard decision, but I think you need to take that decision immediately. Is it? In that case, at least emotions are involved. I think here one needs to look at it objectively from a third person angle. However, I think what you have asked, of course, I will give the answer to that question only. Immediately seek help from a finance consultant. Unfortunately, technical people take finance person as unproductive because there is no cash accrual as such from his advice. There is no direct cash accrual, what I can say. Whatever is there is maybe saving in expenses, eliminating unnecessary expenses, etc., thereby contributing to profitability, or maybe taking some good decisions. Yeah, one of the best examples before us, we have seen Anil Ambani facing this particular problem. Correct, he ran in debt trap, maybe because he was in government contracts business and government never paid him in time. So he got in that debt trap and spoiled himself. So it is better that you get your balance sheet assessed, you get your financial position assessed. Cash flow statement, which is now mandatory to be attached with balance sheet. I will prefer you do this particular cash flow statement more frequently, maybe for a larger organization, even monthly, or maybe for others, or say on quarterly basis, so that if you are going wrong somewhere, the same will be noticed immediately and early remedial action will be possible. Late remedial action may be either too costly or impossible also. Correct. then you can use, that is, I do not want to say that you do not use bank finance. Not at all. Correct. Say a person running business only on the basis of his own funds is also, what I can say, not using his money well. Correct. You can leverage. However, keep it under control. Never allow that limit to cross. Correct. Never allow that limit to cross. You have to keep your borrowings perfectly under control. And the moment you feel that these are going out of your control, yeah, in that case, you have to take the remedial action immediately and use that bank loan to your advantage. That is, there can be various technical indicators. Of course, before using any ratio or before using any statistics, you are supposed to know the limitations of that statistics. That is, that statistic needs to be interpreted well. Say a batsman scored, say, 40 runs. Whether it is a good performance or not, it depends upon so many things. Correct. Under what circumstances he scored 40? How many runs were scored in that match in total by both the teams together? What is the number at which he was batting? Whether 40 run score was a match winning score or not. Correct. So you have to take an intelligent decision, and this is something which is beyond statistics. That is, statistics, ratios, cash flows, all these are the tools. However, these need to be interpreted. These need to be interpreted very intelligently.
True.
Correct. And if you take these timely decisions, I feel you will not run in trouble.
Wow.
Correct. You have to ensure that you are not over trading. Correct. Many companies we have seen, especially in, say, building construction line, one of the big reasons why builders run in trouble, over trading. Correct. Over leveraging. So let us avoid this particular mistake. That is, at the time of borrowing or continuing with your existing cash credit, it is better to get it assessed from a financial consultant, because the banker is always there. Correct. He is a fair weather friend. Correct. He will be happy to give you money when your business is doing well. In fact, it is jokingly said, in our country, on one hand, there is a queue of borrowers before the bankers. And on the other hand, there is a queue of bankers before the big industrialists. Kindly take money from me. Is it? This is how the thing keeps on going. So one should not be tempted to raise money. Narayan Murthy used to say, one should not be tempted to raise money merely because money is available. Correct. The banker will be happy to give you money when you are doing well. And in that case, such excess liquidity is always attracted by riskier assets or riskier businesses. And such risks or such riskier assets can drag you in trouble. So risk analysis is one of the most important tools. And one more important point, especially with reference to MSMEs, I want to say, Anandji, especially if you want to avoid the disaster, if these MSMEs want to avoid the disaster, that is, they have to ensure that there is a continuity of management. One of the eminent builders, I will not name, but one of the eminent builders from Pune only floated a big scheme at the age of 73. And when other members of the board were not competent, he was extremely competent, agreed. But at the age of 73, there is no point in floating a big scheme when especially when your colleagues are not competent. That is when nobody is likely to take it over from you. Correct. Especially for our size of companies, that is medium and small companies. This is also one of the most important matters. Correct. You have to ensure if the business is to survive and if your next generation is capable enough, then that is perhaps the best thing. But if your next generation is either incapable or disinterested, then it is better that you take the timely action to ensure smooth transition of business. Correct. In all these cases, the most important point I said, that is how much time a patient will take to recover. It depends upon how old the disease is or how aggravated the disease is. However, an early detection can help quite a few things. Same is the case as far as the finances of MSMEs are concerned. That is, rather than getting out of debt trap, one has to ensure that it doesn't get into debt. Yes, sir. Anandji? Anything more you want me? You want from me?
Madhav sir, एक मिनट. Madhav sir, तुझा just try to adjust your camera. You are slightly.
Sorry.
Now it is correct.
No problem. No, because you
No
were
problem.
speaking. Because you were speaking, I didn't want to stop you, but that's okay. That's okay.
Extremely sorry.
No problem. No problem. Sir, now this leads to one more question that has come up. Senthil Kumarji, who is from Coimbatore, also an Horizon, has joined. Senthilji, I request you to ask your question yourself, please. Yes, Senthilji. Yeah, I think there is a disturbance at his place. I'll ask this question. Are you able to hear me? Okay. So one of the best methods of financial management is making delayed payments to creditors. Is it correct? So he's asking whether it is correct to pay delayed to creditors.
See, this is how one gets into debt trap. Correct. Or not exactly debt trap. I will prefer to call this as price trap. Once you make a payment to your creditor late, next time he will quote higher price because he is fully aware that you will promise payment within 30 days and will pay it only after 60 days. So next time he will quote higher price. Then you will further make it from 60 to 90. He will still quote higher price. This is how you will get into price trap. And then, see, you will lose your goodwill. Is it? That means you are earning at the cost of your goodwill. And that is something which is definitely not recommended at all. Definitely not recommended. Keep the business in your control. Keep the business in your control. You have to ensure that the business is not going out of your control. Correct. So definitely it is not a good idea at all. It is best to follow the discipline, pay him in time. Okay. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that explanation. It definitely will help a lot of people. I think one of the questions that has come in
that case, just a small interruption. In that case, there is every chance that you may lose a good supplier, a few good suppliers also. Because the supplier may say, okay, I am not interested in further business. Chalo.
Sure. And possible hai that a good supplier will be lost. So let's look at this. One more question that is coming from an SME IPO standpoint. Why do so many SMEs do not go for SME IPO? Is it lack of knowledge or fear of losing the ownership? What do you think? What happens? To your experience,
think
why
it
are
is
people not
both.
going for Sma Ipo?
Yeah, it is both. A combination of two. That is fear of losing the ownership, maybe unwillingness to follow the discipline also. Correct, because you have to make it a limited company, shell out some part of your ownership. Is it follow the discipline? Once you are listed, then obviously you will have to take formal board meetings, correct, formal accounts adoptions. You have to induct independent directors on the board, take their advice, keep the minutes, ensure immediate communication after the meeting to the exchange, etc.
Wow.
Obviously, you cannot do any hanky-panky thing. I am sorry to use that word, but
No,
I
sir,
have
it's
seen
okay.
quite a few MSMEs of smaller size. Just to avoid taxes, they keep on doing such things. See, never do anything which will divert your attention from the business.
क्या बात है? क्या बात है? They're golden words again.
Is it?
Golden words again.
Never do anything which will divert your attention from the business. Simple. You should be at perfect peace of mind when you are attending to the businessman. And then only your decision making will be much better. Just like I used to tell my students also, for my CA final students, I used to give them this advice that how many hours you should study. That was the common question my students used to ask me in quite a few seminars also. I was asked this question, how many hours I should put in? The answer is simple. See, firstly, study is something which cannot be measured in time, say 3 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, nothing like that. The quality is obviously more important. The quality, concentration, focus, correct? Correct, in those 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever you are putting in, that matters much more. And the apparently funny answer I used to give them, that suppose you study say 10 hours a day, then to me it is more important what you do in the remaining 14 hours a day. Is it? If you do something in those remaining 14 hours, something crazy, something stupid, something nonsense, then the quality of your studies in those 10 hours also will be affected.
Correct.
So this is equally important. Correct. This is very, very important. That is, you should give quality time and quality thinking to your business. When you are focusing on a business decision making, then you need to purely focus on that decision making so as to improve the quality of that decision. There should not be any interruption in between, and you should be mentally free. You should be mentally free to focus on that. Just like our cricket players are advised to get back to their rooms at 10 o'clock in the night and switch the lights off. Correct. Actually, they have to give the performance the next day, maybe say 10 to 5, that's all. But one has to ensure that the activities in the remaining time do not keep them mentally disturbed. Same logic over here. Exactly same logic over here. You should be able to focus on your business. Please focus on your business, correct, without a distortion, without any disturbance. Give the quality time, and then decision making will be much better. Okay.
Wow.
And do not hesitate to take the help from a consultant. Select a good consultant, very important. Select a good consultant. And while you select a good consultant, you have to also ensure that you present all the facts before him and then take his advice. It should not be a haphazard advice. Okay.
Wow, wonderful. This
Then the quality of decision making will be much better.
wow, wonderful.
Fine.
So I think you really have shared some wonderful wisdom to all of us. Let us also look at when should an MSME go for IPO, SME IPO? That's the next question that we have.
See, yeah, that is again a very, very good question. See, there are certain criteria laid down for going for IPO. Is it? That is, your capital should be 1 to 25 crores, etc. You should have some net worth. Correct? You should be able to shell out a percentage. Your merchant banker can advise you on this. What is the price at which you should go, etc. See, follow the discipline again. The first point, what I told you a few minutes before. Do not take money merely because money is available. So, if I go for IPO today, the issue will be a great success. Why? Because the capital market is doing well. There is a lot of money in stock market. Capital market is doing well. So I should tap capital market just now, though I do not need money. Don't have this kind of a mentality. Tap the capital market only when you are required. Same thing applies to loan also, borrowings also. That is, do not borrow money merely because you are getting money. You are getting additional cash credit. As I said, banker will always be happy to give you that cash credit to ensure that he gets interest only. Correct. He will always try to put you in debt trap. So coming back, when you have that critical mass and when you have a good foreseeable future, maybe for next 3 to 5 years, when you have an innovative product, see the market as on today, the most interesting idea, the most powerful idea in the market now is disruption. That is, if you have something unique, then it is better to tap the market at the earliest. Otherwise, you may lose your uniqueness in the market. Something what happened to Paytm also. That is, initially when that concept was introduced, that business was valued very much on the higher side. Correct. And now over the period, the valuation has come down in fact. So if you have a very, very good idea, which is new, which is innovative, then it is better to tap the market immediately, get sufficient funds, and get the benefit of an early start. On the other hand, if your business is not new as such, there is no innovative idea as such, in that case, if you have that critical mass in your business, then you can think of going for IPO and make the business debt free. That is, make public issue of shares, collect money and repay the loans. Correct. That can also be a good idea. So these two can possibly be the good ideas going for IPO.
Wow,
Okay.
wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, and it is always better. That is, generally, I will not advise you to have a private funding arrangement. It is better to go for IPO in all such cases. Correct, because he will also be much more comfortable as he will have an exit route also.
Correct.
Correct.
Wonderful.
Any person putting money in your business who is only a passive investor, that means he is believing in you. Correct. Naturally, he will ask for the exit route. Maybe after 2 years, after 3 years, he must get an exit route. And that is something which is very much possible. A listed company will always be beneficial in attracting good employees and talent. The employees, if when you want to give shares to your employees, your key employees, then it is better to go for listing in that case, so that the employee will also have more comfort. The company will have more prestige, goodwill, name and image. And the employee will also have an exit load maybe after some time, so that you will have further time. You will have the assured time of that employee with you, that he will not leave in that particular period.
Wow, wonderful. Very
So that can be the right time for going for IPO.
true, true, true. Thank you very much. One of our trustees, Anand Palnitkar ji, has a question. Anand ji, you were raising a hand. Go ahead.
So good evening. Actually, I just wanted to know, nowadays bankers are also suggesting that if the loans and other finances are little more, you can restructure it. So whether it is advisable to restructure it and get a better reducement of your CC limit and all for improvement in your business, because what happens, as you said rightly, technically financing technicality is little less in the engineers than the commercial people. So how you should advise the group as such? That I just want to know.
Yeah, pretty difficult to answer your query, but be careful about an advice from a banker.
Okay.
Correct. What I told you. Correct. You better seek advice from an independent professional. See, the banker will always be keen on expanding his profit and loss account and balance sheet.
Okay.
He is not doing any charity. Correct. By giving loan to you.
Correct.
And the private financiers, in many cases, their tendency itself is bad. Correct. So private finance companies or private financiers, ज्याला आपण मराठीमध्ये गिधाड वृत्ती बघतो म्हणतो, की then he will be, म्हणजे he will be looking only for such entrepreneurs who will not be able to repay the amount. Correct.
And
give
pay
them
the
money.
interest.
And take interest, and more than that, grab his business only one day or the other. Now that if you are unable to repay my loan, now I will take over your business.
Okay.
Correct. So such grabbing tendency, what you can say, गिधाड वृत्ती ज्याला आपण म्हणतो मराठीमध्ये, तसा there will be a grabbing tendency from the private finance companies. And as far as banker is concerned, he will play the first game. That is, he will always ensure, he will always ensure that you earn sufficient money to pay interest, but not to repay the principal amount. Correct. And therefore, the restructuring part, usually restructuring results in delay in repayment of money. Correct.
Okay.
So that
Correct.
your loan is
But
restructured.
that case, CC can be term loan. They can make it cash credit to term loan. Likewise, whatever proposals are there, how much it impact?
It is called WCTL, working capital term loan. Working capital be converted, that is CC can be converted to term loan. However, that will have to be studied on case-to-case basis. That is, there is no general solution. Is it worth? Kaisa hai? That is, as far as CC is concerned, you have to pay interest only on overdrawn balance. As far as term loan is concerned, you have to pay the interest on entire amount.
And monthly reducing or whatever.
Correct. And there will be monthly repayment. It will be a long-term repayment. Correct, etc. So, see a housing loan, take the example. If you have seen, say, look at, I want you to do this exercise. say 15 years housing loan and 20 years housing loan. Just check what is the extra interest you are paying.
Okay.
That is too costly, unaffordable.
20.
Unaffordable. See, it is a good business. It is a good business for the banker, not for you.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Correct. So it is a good business. Of course, I do not want to discard the entire option as such of restructuring. Correct. What your business can bear. What is the reason for restructuring? Say, for example, this COVID. It may be a valid reason for restructuring. That is, if at all your finances are out of shape because of such abnormal circumstances. However, in the normal course, I will definitely not accept restructure.
Okay.
Correct. Only for abnormal reasons, restructuring may be thought of. But as I said, that is something that medicine you should take only under doctor's supervision.
Okay. Okay.
Not only on doctor's recommendation. I am using the word doctor's supervision.
Anything
is the
without
percentage you
diagnosis
suggest,
is
sir?
malpractice. Anything
What is
without
the-
diagnosis is malpractice.
What is the percentage you supposed to suggest for the right CC? That 20%, 25% seems to be okay as a healthy business, or what it is?
No, it depends upon the nature of your business. When the business is more or less assured,
Okay.
say for example, petrol pump.
Hmm.
No selling effort is required for selling petrol.
Correct.
Correct. No commission, no advertisement, nothing. Is it? In that case, your CC limit can be higher.
Okay.
When you are, when you are in necessities, your CC limit can be higher. But when you are in, say, luxuries, your CC limit should be honestly zero. Say, for example, imagine a situation, a business, a person is in the business of, say, hill station resort, or maybe hill station plots he's selling, purchasing the land and selling hill station plots. That
Okay.
is a business. That means he is dealing in luxuries. Then he is not supposed to use any CC.
Okay.
Correct, because that is the first person, that is the first business to get adversely affected if anything goes wrong with the economy.
Okay.
Correct. Hill station hotels, holiday homes, plots, that is the first business which will be shut down. Correct, if anything goes wrong with the economy.
Correct.
Is it? On the other hand, if you are dealing in necessities, then you can have higher cash credit limit also. But as I said, again, do not use cash credit limit merely because it is available. Use it very carefully. See, one basic principle in finance, that is the first golden rule in finance, is never incur any expense merely because you have money.
Acha.
Is
Yeah,
it?
but-
Never incur any expenses merely because you have money. And the second part thereof, never avoid any expense merely because you do not have money.
Okay. So wherever it is required, you should spend.
See, apply the basic test. Is it necessary?
Okay.
Is it necessary? Never incur any expense merely because you have money. Never avoid any expense merely because you do not have money.
Fine. Fine. That is a great lesson.
Yeah, no, this is 100% a great lesson.
Yes.
Awesome. इतने फंडामेंटल्स सच में हम सबको अगर मतलब जब शुरू किया था तो पता चलते तो कितनी गलतियां रुक सकती थी
Yeah.
क्योंकि अगर टर्नओवर 10 करोड़ के बाद जाता है तो फिर तो लग्जरी गाड़ी आनी बहुत जरूरी है.
Exactly. That is, do not incur such expenses unnecessarily. That expense needs to be justified.
Correct.
Correct.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great.
Okay.
And if
Thank you,
that expense is necessary, then do not hesitate to borrow and incur that particular expenditure if it is justified, if it is necessary. if it is necessary for the growth of your business.
Fine,
Yeah,
fine.
very-
Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you very much. I think we have been getting questions. Let me also read some comments that have come. Comments have come as very true. Wow. Somebody said respect. Great, sir. Bang on. Have experienced this or something that you said. Superb. Yes, of course. Awesome. Nicely explained. We also have a question that's come up. We put all our own funds in land and building and took CC for working capital. But
Yeah.
due to the problem in the sector in 2018 and COVID-19-20 exhausted our CC. Now we don't have working capital and the bank is not enhancing the CC.
Correct. I read
Now-
that question, and
Yeah.
this is something which I want to talk on from the bottom of my heart. Correct. See, we people in India have a lot of attachment to the soil and real estate. Is it?
Correct.
And my advice, my very sincere advice, do not keep any unnecessary real estate which is not in use and which is not having any use in foreseeable future.
I mean,
Let
I want
me
to clap. I want to
Let-
clap, sir. I want to clap.
Yeah.
I want to clap.
Let me repeat that do not keep any real estate which is not in use or which doesn't have any use in foreseeable future. Never purchase a real estate for earning by way of rental. Very stupid concept. Is it? Extremely stupid concept. Never purchase any real estate for the purposes of earning by way of interest. Yeah, I can tell you the reasons for this. See, all of us are in now e-commerce. Correct. Work from any place. If that is the case, why there should be a value to real estate except in pockets? See, just imagine had there been no COVID, what we would have done? We would have arranged this meeting offline.
Yes.
Correct. Taken a hall on rental. Correct. We would have paid rental of that hall and arranged a meeting. Now that all of us have understood that this can very well be done without a hall also. So even if COVID gets over, I think this work from home culture or Zoom meetings is here to stay.
Correct.
Is it? That is at the most what will happen. Presently, it is maybe say 5 days working from home. Instead of that, at the most, there can be 2 days working from office and 3 days working from home. Is it? As a teacher also, I can tell, correct, since I am in teaching line, I can tell you, I will definitely prefer to have maybe maximum 2 days of classroom training and 3 days of Zoom training. There are many advantages of this technology. Firstly, when we are on Zoom, I can have these sessions even late evening also. That is not going to disturb any schedule. Secondly, when I am taking the sessions for the students, no student will prefer to remain absent. Is it? In physical sessions, in offline sessions, what happens? Suppose a student is required to go to say Gujarat for audit, then he will not be able to attend. Now he can very easily attend if I keep the show, maybe late in the evening, say 9 o'clock. He will be very comfortable. He can attend without disturbance. A lot of travel time and travel hazards will be saved. Correct. And in my teaching line, there can be additional advantages also. Two students will not be able to speak to each other while the session is on, etc. So now that all of us have come down to this, what they call it as new normal, correct, the prices of real estate will not sustain. In fact, we can now visualize that there will be a few villages in our country where real estate will become unsellable. Is it? With population control measures may be due, shortly will be introduced by the government. Correct. Then everything is available everywhere. Correct. See, the simple thing which I keep on telling, say, I stay in Pune. I stay at, say, Sadashivpet. How many times I go to Kalyani Nagar? Is Kalyani Nagar in Pune? That is what I can ask. In fact, I go more times to Bombay than to Kalyani Nagar. Is it? Rather than going to Aund, I make more trips to New Delhi. Is it? If this is the case, naturally, such parts will become self-sufficient. Self-sufficient pockets in the city. Say Kothurud, for example. A person residing at Kothurud, why he should come to city area at all? There is no reason. If that is the case, tomorrow the same thing will happen to Baudhan, tomorrow same thing will happen to Talegaon. And if that is the case, so much land is available, why real estate prices should go up? There is absolutely no reason, no justification at all. Then the second reason, our government is spending a lot on construction of roads. So
Yes.
coming and going is all, commuting is also not a problem. Thirdly, the prices of bikes, scooters, etc. are now very well within the reach of a common man. Everybody is having at least a two-wheeler bike. If that is the case, then what is the advantage of staying near to the city? Hardly any. All good communication facilities, technological support, correct, good Wi-Fi, is it? Good roads, good communication facilities, everything becoming available everywhere. E-commerce, is it? Now we can purchase everything on Amazon or Flipkart or whatever it is. Is it? Maybe even at a discount. Is it? If that is the case, why the prices of real estate should go up? Work from home culture, correct? Why you need a big office? In fact, you must have seen HDFC Bank in the last year renegotiated the rental of almost all their branches and brought this down by 20-25%. Correct. There are so many now. See, in a city like Pune, quite a few students used to come and stay in hostels. Now that everything has become online, why a student should stay at a hostel? He can go home, stay with his parents. Why spend unnecessarily? If this is the case, there is absolutely no reason why the prices of real estate should go up. Not at all. So forget the sentimental value, as I said, correct? In fact, this is one of the reasons why stock market is going up. Correct. Because real estate is no longer an attraction. If I am unable to go over there. And one more important point is real estate has maintenance cost also. Correct. Society maintenance, corporation taxes, minimum electricity charges, etc. It has a maintenance cost also. So let us forget that sentimental value of real estate and never keep. Again, one more point, the families are also getting smaller. Correct. Many of us are getting maybe jobs abroad. That is also reducing the pressure on real estate. Correct. So real estate prices in foreseeable future are not likely to go up at all. Correct.
That's awesome input for everybody. Wonderful. Thank you, sir. I think, hey, come on, everybody on the chat box. Go ahead and give your expressions on the chat box. Everybody, please give your expressions on the chat box. Madhav sir, you should write so many words that Madhav sir should say, I'm coming back next month to share more.
Correct.
Okay, so the whole process, Madhav sir, was beautiful. The examples that you gave were awesome. I think there are learnings for the session, and after giving the learning for the sessions, I would then hand it over to Mohan sir for vote of thanks, and you see what things are writing down. I'll give you my learnings, and I hope people agree to this. Remember the word necessary when it comes to money. Never incur expenses because you have money, and never avoid expenses because you don't have money. Never do anything that diverts your attention from your business. Watch the price trap. Risk analysis is extremely important. Continuity of management when you start off with any business is very, very important. You need to know who are you going to transit it, or how are you going to transit it. But basically, what's your exit plan as a businessman? Banks give money to those people who can pay interest and not the principal amount. That's something that everybody will, I'm going to talk to this about this to my wife when I go home. It is so important.
Can I add one line?
Yes, sir.
Can
Yes,
I
sir.
add just one line?
Yes, sir.
The biggest success for a man is to create another person who can do very capably what he himself was doing.
Wonderful.
I don't know. Somehow I want to use a Marathi slang. कि उगाच फापट पसारा करायचा नाही.
Correct.
I think that's what you want to say in more sophisticated words.
हा म्हणजे माझी जबाबदारी ही किंवा मी सक्सेसफुल असा की जर मी माझ्यासाठी बरोबर चांगला सक्सेसर निर्माण करू शकलो.
क्या बात.
Wonderful.
So this is for all the audiences.
Sir, but we have only one Shivaji and one Shahaji Maharaj. There are nobody else.
So
But
for audiences who did not.
That is why they are remembered after 300, 400 years also.
Correct.
Is it?
We must. Correct.
So
sir.
for audiences who did not get to the Marathi piece of it, I think it's my moral responsibility as a navigator of this entire event to help you understand what we spoke in Marathi. What we said is your focus is the ultimate goal. You definitely need to focus on what you're supposed to do rather than doing a lot of things at the same time. Because as entrepreneurs, you will keep getting ideas when everything cannot be implemented. Hence, focus on your core business. So that's exactly what we were talking. And Mohanji, over to you for the vote of thanks for Madhav sir. Madhav sir, thank you very much once again. It has been a privilege and honor to be interacting with you. Thank you very much.
Madhav sir, so nice of you. We are extremely grateful to you for sharing all your wisdom, and in a short span of time, probably we would have loved that you remain with us for some more time. And I think, as Yogesh has said, we'll meet sometime in the physically also. We'll call you again also, and we'll take your help. I am extremely thankful to all our members and non-members also. And one appeal to the non-members, I think Madhav sir will agree with me that NGO needs a lot of funds. So those who are non-members, I request humbly that they should become member as fast as possible. And as Yogesh ji has shown to you in the initial 1 or 2 slides, by the grace of God, we are getting a lot of good speakers, precious speakers. Just last week, Mr. Madhav Ganpule Swamiji visited us.
Great.
And a week before is Mukundanand Swami.
Oh.
Yeah, and last year we got even Prakash Amte and Gaur Gopal Das ji also.
Oh.
So
great.
it is all this team is attracting the good speakers.
Yes.
and these are all, probably it is a priceless. So I am extremely thankful to everybody. Thanks, Madhav sir, again. So let's meet again with this note.
Yeah. I also want to share with all the audiences. Sir, I have watched the video that Mohan sir shared with me about Ganvatsal Swamiji speaking and taking your example of how you shared your wisdom with him as well.
Yeah.
So the best part here is, I mean, without even, we listen to speakers, sir. I'll tell you one of the most unique thing that I have learned from you, without even giving any references of who you work with, where you work. You just made very clear about what entrepreneurs should do in simple words, and I think that requires wisdom, and that's what I've learned from you today. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to speak after Yogesh ji, but so एक last sixer मार देते हैं Madhav का ही. तो Madhav always has said, he keeps learning for 28 days and he work only for 3 days.
With the basic fundamentals of learning grows.
My occupation is student.
Correct.
Is it? And I am that lucky chap who is paid handsomely for learning, who is paid handsomely for being a student. Correct. So maybe God is great. Correct. That is His grace.
Great. So nice of you, Madhav, again, and thank you very much to all of you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. For members, for all the horizons, I request you in the next session, please give your names to Amit Deshpande or any of the trustees for your presentations in the meet. You have a slot of 3 minutes. It is a first come first basis, so that you can explain the products and services and the business that you are in. Please don't miss this opportunity, because good people join in. Good people are able to understand your business. Please don't lose the opportunity of sharing that. Thank you very much. God bless all of you. Stay safe. And Madhav sir, once again, give me an opportunity to meet you physically. Nothing you waiting tomorrow.
Anytime, please.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye. Bye.
Everybody.